Well, there's also this situation, I've been trying to reckon with it, is that we're used to obstruction of justice in smoke-filled rooms, like Woodward and Bernstein. Here's what the Nixon campaign was doing. Here's what the re-elect campaign was doing. We're not used to obstruction of justice in plain daylight, on TV interviews in front of millions of people. Trump, from the very beginning, has telegraphed and been transparent about his obstruction of justice. If we had learned all of this was going on behind the scenes, said, yeah, I was worried about the Russian investigation, we would be putting the indictment out there right now. But because he's doing it in public, we're all like, well, maybe it is an obstruction. It is obstruction.
Joyce, can you speak to that? And can you also answer, I mean, that is the public relations effect of it. We've seen it now for so long. The conduct is so abnormal. The language about the Justice Department is so outside the range of normal conduct that it's been out there so long, probably to desensitize people to it. But I'm guessing that inside the Mueller investigation, they don't care about the effect on our feelings.
They really don't. They'll just go ahead and keep their heads down and do their jobs. But Trump has desensitized people to protocoling the Justice Department, and he's really tried to reduce the stature of the Justice Department. In a series of tweets earlier this week, he referred to the Sessions recusal and said, how could he recuse and walk away from the most important case in, quote, the office? You know, the Justice Department isn't just an office. It is the place in our country where we ensure that the rule of law is upheld. Trump is making sure that the public sees it in a very different, diminished light. And that's perhaps the most dangerous thing that's going on here.
The other dangerous thing that we seem to, we chase these shiny balls. The pardon today of Dinesh, you know, in our shiny ball chase. And no, but what we seem to have lost sight of is that Bob Mueller is investigating whether there was collusion between the Russians and the Trump campaign. While we've been talking about pardons and all the other idiocy coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, we know that nothing has been done to protect the upcoming midterm elections from Russian meddling. And we know that from Donald Trump's appointees who have gone to testify on Congress. Chris Wray testified to the fact that he's not been asked to do anything differently. Admiral Rogers, with talking about body language, he was literally like draped over the table saying, you know, what do we got to deter Putin? He said nothing. I mean, you've got an entire national security apparatus hamstrung by the lack of interest from this president in doing anything to protect the country from Russia.
Because Donald Trump is not interested in those things. He's not interested in the outcome of the November elections. He doesn't quite honestly care if Republicans hold the House or lose the House, because that has nothing to do with him. He'll work with whoever's there. He'll work with Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, or whomever is. You
don't think he worries about impeachment? I guess they just don't want to get convicted. They don't even care if they get impeached.
Because he knows the stopgap is the Senate.
There
won't be a conviction in the Senate, and he watched Bill Clinton deal with it and live with it. And
67% approval.
So for him, those things are not of his interest, because